Hey folks, it's Dale. I'm here to talk to you about the 2019 Russ and Tori Taft Bell Buckle Weekend. I am so chinged up.
No more rocket balls, please. Well, I was teamed up.
It's going to be a great time. I thought I would make this video, kind of go over the itinerary that Tori sent out the other day. Thought I'd talk to you about a little bit about the musicians. I also thought I'd kind of give some of my own experience having been there twice, just in case you're coming in for the first time and you wonder what the weekend's going to look like. I'll try to maybe fill in those gaps a little bit. So let's get started. Let's go through this itinerary. I will tell you though, if you hear noises in the back, nothing to be alarmed about. My two cats, Jake and Aretha, are chasing each other, and they've been doing it for a few minutes. I don't know if they're going to stop anytime soon. So here we go. Now we're getting into the itinerary. All right. So as I look at it, she's saying that the registration for the weekend uh, campers, concert goers, is going to start Friday at 1 and run till about 5. Um, and then on Friday night, uh, right about 5 o'clock, they're going to start the dinner in the banquet hall. It's just going to be, from what I understand, she's saying it's going to be hot dogs, Greg's famous baked beans, coleslaw, brownies, and of course popcorn, which sounds great. Um, and she says the movie will start around 6 o'clock, which keep all that in mind. It's at first when I read this, I thought, man, that's kind of early, but she makes a good point. It's almost a 2 hour documentary, and they want to wrap up because people are going to want to socialize, and it's going to wrap up around 8. I got a feeling, so that gives people time to chat and not feel like they have to rush out, because not everyone stays in bell buckles. Sometimes people have to get reservations, like unfortunately Dave and I did this year, and have to go over to another town to stay the night. So they took that in consideration, and are getting people done early, so there's plenty of time to get rested up for the next day, because Saturday is a big day. I would, you can, I think if you go to the website, you can buy tickets for I think for Friday night, for Saturday by itself, Sunday by itself, for Saturday and Sunday, or for the whole deal. I'm getting it all, and I'd encourage you. I don't know how many tickets are left for the Friday night event, but if you're around, it's a great documentary. Um, I was very proud to have contributed a little money to it, tiny bit of money. Um, but I believe in this story. I think it's one that will help heal a lot of people, and it needs to be told. So don't forget the book. Where I work with parolees and state inmates, and I've had 3 state inmates read this book, and they struggle with addiction, and I'm very proud to have let them read this. It's a great book, great documentary. So we want to support the Tafts in that, and the opportunity to. So I'm looking forward to seeing the documentary again, and also just it's kind of cool to get in there and start hanging out with my extended bell buckle family. And let me talk about that for just a minute, because this is outside of the itinerary. Look, there's a lot of people coming in to see Russ this weekend, and Russ talked about this the first year I was there, which was year two. Uh, get to know people. Introduce yourself. Um, I am so thankful for so many of the people that I have met at Bell Buckle Weekend. I mean, there's a lot of good people that are there, and the only thing that's standing between you and them is you don't know them yet. So go introduce yourself, and and make some new family. And I promise you, it'll be one of the most rewarding things you do all weekend. Um, all right, so let's get back to it. So that's Friday night. It's dedicated to the showing and reading of the documentary. Um, then there's Saturday morning. All right, so she's saying that the first official event will be the meet and greet on the front yard, which starts at 12:30. Um, and she gives, the itinerary gives the directions. I won't do that here. Now they usually do, and yeah, she's talking about that in there, where uh, when you register, they give you a bag, and usually in that bag are a lot of coupons and discounts for some of the shops and stuff in the area. And so there's usually time, depending on when you get started. There's usually time before the meet and greet on the lawn, and after to go to the shops, and they have a lot of great ones. There's a great little coffee shop there, and they usually have a Russ Taff blend for the weekend. Um, love the ice cream shop, uh, and the Bell Buckle Cafe. So yeah, so I don't know about you guys. Personally, I'm usually dieting. I I tend to do the keto diet, which means, yes, this video is brought to you by fiber gummies. Let me tell you, your diet sucks when fiber gummies are a highlight of your day. I'm just saying. But yeah, so keto diet. Oh, I'm feeling it right now for the next couple days, because I hit that stick, the little sticks they give you, the peon, like you think you're pregnant, and I turned that thing red, and so I'm a fat burning machine right now. But look, I have no intention of sticking to that. Once I hit bell buckle, I will be eating with an attitude, and Bell Buckle is the place to do it, because if you have never eaten at the Bell Buckle Cafe, that is a treat. Now, Tori says if you're going to do that on a Friday night, you need reservations. So take that in mind. We've eaten there. Usually, when Dave and I eat there, well, the first year we kind of hung out late and got in after the crowds, um, and then we usually eat there on Saturday afternoon, and it's always spectacular. And of course, the Bell Buckle Cafe is they do the catering for the meals for the main concerts, and it's always just out of this world. So um, back to the meet and greet. Like I said, this is not scripted, so I'm going to be all over the place. Um, the meet and greet, they usually line up hay bales so you can sit on those, and then unfortunately, the last couple of years it has been really warm, and I don't think this year is going to be much different. But they have lemonade there, and you can bring your own lawn chairs. You can bring something else to drink if you need it. But yeah, be prepared. That meet and greet's probably going to be a little warm. So take whatever precautions or bring whatever things you need to get through it. But you don't want to miss it because Russ does some great stuff. He's even not only does he usually sing a couple songs that we all know and love, but every now and then he'll go deep cut. And I can't remember which year it was, but I think he did Larry Norman's "The Outlaw," which I have never known him to sing on any recording. So you never know what you're going to get on that when he does, because he does some acoustic stuff. So you never know what you're going to get. All right, and then the meet and greet. It was a great time just to mingle around and meet people, and while you're waiting, and even while you're waiting to meet Russ, to be in the line is cool, because a lot of times he'll stand and talk about stories from his past, which are always fascinating. So you have the meet and greet, and then you have a little bit of a gap between that and the evening concert. Great time to hit some more of the shops. And if I'm not mistaken, his oldest daughter owns the shop called The Findery, and I have never been in there. I might try to get in there this year. She, and of course I would blank on her name right now. Maddie, and I think. Anyway, she seems cool. She likes cats, and around here, that's with two cat co-hosts, that's always that makes you cool in my book. So yeah, and don't miss that ice cream shop, man. They they do some nice stuff there. All right, so then we're going to want to talk about what's going to be probably the highlight for me this year, because I'm going to title this video "Countdown to Goat Night." Man, I'm so excited. Russ Taff and Phil Kiggy. So, what do I mean by Goat Night? Well, those of us who watch sports already know GOAT stands for greatest of all time. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to vocalists, Russ is the greatest of all time, bar none. And do I really need to talk about that? I know anybody coming into that watches this channel regularly already knows about my opinion on Russ and his incredible vocals. So soulful, so passionate. If you can listen to Russ and you don't feel anything, you better go see a doctor, okay? Because I don't know of another singer that can affect me the way he does. He is such a phenomenal talent.
First, we'll come back and see Russ Taff.
Thank you, Jesus. Sometimes it's so hard for me to understand why we pull away from each other so easily, even though we're all walking the same road, and yet we build dividing walls between our brothers and ourselves. But I don't care what label you may wear. If you believe in Jesus, you belong with me. The bond we share is all I care to see, and we will change the world forever if you will join with me join and sing, sing. You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Together we will work until it comes. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. And as long as there is love, we will stand. And the day, it will soon come when we all will be as one. With a mighty voice, together we will proclaim that Jesus is King. And it will echo to the earth, and it will shake the nations, and the world will see that you're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Together we will work until it comes. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. And as long as there is love, we will stand. Take me by the hand, join with me, join and sing, sing. You're my brother, you're my sister, and I love you. Take me by the hand. I need your hand. Together, together, until he comes. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. And as long as there is love, we will stand. Sing, you're my brother, and I love you. Take me by the hand, and together we will work until he comes. And there's no foe that can defeat us when we are walking side by side. And as long as there is love, we're going to stand. Amen. As long as there's love, we will stand. Praise you, Jesus.
And what? 6 Grammys, 18 Doves, and 3-time inductee to the Gospel Music Hall of Fame. Maybe there's some other people who have helped validate my opinion. Yeah. And besides, then he's just a great guy to go along with it. Another great guy is Phil Keaggy. And I first became aware of Phil through Russ, because I think it was 1985. Russ was on his Medals tour, and he came to Louisville, Kentucky. And I wasn't here in Louisville yet. I was in Danville, but me and my buddy Shane came up, and it was general admission concert, and we got here in a couple hours before the concert, so we got to sit front row center. And man, I was so chinged up for that concert. And then I'd forgotten all about the that there would probably be an opening act. So this little guy walks out with his guitar, and I'm thinking, oh man, we gotta sit through him to wait for Russ. And I didn't know it was Phil. I didn't know it was the GOAT when it comes to guitar playing. Man, he tore it up. And all right, so not only potential campers are watching this video, but some of my vinyl community friends are probably watching this video. If you do not know Phil Keaggy, you need to pick up something, because he is absolutely a beast on the guitar. One example I'll give you of this is, now there is a legend, and it has in this legend who the guitarist talking about the other guitarist, his identity is sometimes changed, and so is the actual guitarist that they're talking about. But usually 95% of the time when I hear this legend, it's Jimi Hendrix and Phil Keaggy. And the legend goes that someone asked Phil Keaggy, or asked Jimi Hendrix, who's the greatest guitarist of all time? And Hendrix replied, I don't know. You would have to ask Phil Keaggy. Hey, Aretha, we told you we like cats around here. How are you doing, darling? Anyway, Phil has addressed the legend himself and said, you know what, the timing's wrong. I really don't think I don't think that Jimmy would have known who I was. And so I tend to agree with, if Phil says it, then I tend to agree that the legend probably isn't true, but I think it's a credit to Phil's talent that the legend has persisted as long as it has, and because it's certainly believable. Phil is amazing.
Most people think you'll never stop, but go on perpetually. That old man time, you're running out, and you'll cease eventually. When the Lord stops him, that'll be it. Too late for apology, too late to forgive your brother, too late to get on your knees. When the Lord stops him,
So that's why I'm so excited for Saturday night. I'm excited, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for the whole weekend. But Saturday night is what I'm looking at the most right now, is because Russ Taff and Phil Keaggy, and they have worked together. They've done, uh, I can think of at least two songs that I've got where they work together, but I know that they've done more stuff than even that. So I'm looking forward to Goat Night. Uh, all right, so Saturday night, that, let's see, did I give you the times? So Saturday night we meet at 5:30 for dinner, and the concert will start around 6:45. Then Sunday morning is the gospel brunch at 10:30 a.m., followed by uh, the concert starting at 11:45 and running till about 1:30 or 2 o'clock. Okay? So, and let me tell you, these catered meals are so spectacular. They are. But and then the concerts, man, they're headed by a live band led by longtime Russ Taff keyboardist Larry Hall, tremendous keyboardist. Usually I think on bass is Tom Hemby, who is it Ron or Tom? Actually, I think it's Ron Hemby. And Ron was in the Imperials some years after Russ. And I'll tell you, after Russ's uh, run with the Imperials, Ron is probably my favorite. Uh, Great albums like This Year's Model, he sang on that, and Big World, and Free the Fire in Me. Great albums. And yeah, so looking forward to that. I can't remember his drummer or his guitarist name. Usually Bonnie Keene is in the backup singers. They do a great job. Uh, and then the talent for the guest artist for Sunday morning. I'm sure this is going to be great. And all right, so usually Saturday night is the more rock uh, section of it's dedicated more to the early part of Russ's career, which is more rock. The second concert is more worship oriented, and music that he did features music that he did with the Gaithers. And so the concert guests are usually Gaither related. You know, he knows them from Gaither Homecomings. And so this year he's bringing in, the one I know best is Buddy Green, great harmonica player. Reggie and Lady Love Smith, who I've watched a few, I'm not familiar with them hardly at all, but I've watched a few YouTube videos, and they sound like they both have excellent voices. Reggie sounds like he's got quite a soulful influence. I bet he's like me and has probably spent some time singing along with Russ with records on the turntable. And then Kevin Pauls, and I've just become aware that he was added to this, and I don't know much about him at all. I saw one YouTube clip, and he seems like a really good singer. So I'm looking forward to getting to know some of the artists that are performing Sunday morning, and that's always a great time. All right, and that's pretty much this itinerary. Let me tell you one other little secret. Okay, so I apologize if there's a sudden edit in this video that seems kind of abrupt, but I realized that I had not pulled up the information for the other event that I wanted to tell you about, just in case you're in the area and you can afford you want to spend a little extra time. Anyway, so the concert's wrapping up 1:30, 2 o'clock. And I think that gives everybody plenty of time. If you want to make this event, they are actually showing the Ashley Cleveland documentary at the Nashville Film Festival. And that will start at 3:30 on Sunday afternoon.
Let's make no doubt about it. Ashley Cleveland has a severe war going on within herself.
People that are creative live inside their own insanity.
She rolled a Suburban. She was so loaded she wasn't hurt.
Man, who is this that dresses like a school teacher that's singing like Etta James or something?
I was convinced that I was on some kind of trajectory to being a rock star.
Ashley first came on my radar. I'd heard about her. Singer-songwriter who can belt like Janis Joplin.
Cocaine would help me stay up and drink longer. I would pick up somebody at a bar, steal from people. I was in serious trouble.
One thing that we're all suckers for, and that's the truth, whether you're listening to music or reading something or whatever it is.
Oh, that little black sheep. Everything worth anything in me came from the most devastated place.
You can see it in her face. You can hear it in her music. That's what makes an artist an artist.
She's her own creation, and the music is very primal.
We are all outsiders in some way. That thing that makes you your own thing, that's where the greatness is.
If you don't know Ashley, oh man, what a singer. And how ironic, because she reminds me, if Russ were a woman, I think he would be Ashley, because she is so soulful and passionate of a singer. They have worked together. The first time I probably heard Ashley was singing backup on Russ's song Ain't No Grave, which appeared on his Under Their Influence album. Then I heard her, of course, I picked up her debut album, of which Russ and James Holohan contributed to. I think they wrote or co-wrote Love on the Main Line with her, and Russ is doing vocals, and yeah, so anyway, Ashley, like Russ, has had an issue with substance abuse, and she's finally told her story in a documentary. And I've been wanting to see this documentary for a long time, and I'm glad to finally have the opportunity, because I can't find any kind of physical media on it whatsoever. So yeah, so 3:30, go to the Nashville Film Festival page, and you're looking for the documentary Who's That Girl? And that is Ashley's documentary. And I literally just bought my tickets. It's 15. Well, it's 15 for the ticket, and then there's like a $2 fee. So it's $17 to go see the film. So anyway, that's it. I better wrap this up. This is going to be a pretty long video. So I appreciate you stopping in and listening to me ramble, and I hope maybe something in this video is of use to you, and I hope to see you there. If you watch this and then you see me in Bell Buckle, by all means come up and introduce yourself, and let me get to know you. So we'll see you in Bell Buckle, and have a good travel, and yeah, can't wait to see you. Bye bye.